All right, everybody, this is another episode of Wartime News. Just want to go over, thanks to the comments from Woods. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for letting me know. So, a little bit, PPU is still in business. I didn't know if they were or not because I picked up their ammunition from a gun show many years ago. There are brands out there of ammunition that I only will shoot with older stuff. There are certain manufacturers that I will only shoot with my K98K that has specifically say K98 Mauser only. American Eagle and Federal, I think there is another one that will shoot only for the M1 Garands. That's all that kind of stuff that I will shoot. I'll go over more ammunition stuff and more of the M1 Garand in another episode. So, Woods, I appreciate the comment, man. Thank you. If you start making videos, I will follow you. So, he brought to my attention that the bayonet actually will fit over this cleaning rod. Now, after a little bit of digging, the only reason why I didn't catch that is because there's a lot of gunk built up in there. I've never restored this. I've never cleaned it. This is straight from show of shows that I found. I left her all dirty. I left her all original. Took a Q-tip in there, cleaned it out, so it actually will fit directly over that cleaning rod. So that will fit over the cleaning rod for the K98 Mauser. So now you don't have to take it out. Woods, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So now today on Wartime News, got a little bit of a treat for you guys. Now, I'm not going to demonstrate that this gun is safe due to the fact that this gun is military demilled. However, you wouldn't notice that until I show you here in a second. I got this as a birthday present from a very good friend of mine. I'm not going to name his name, but if you are watching, you're a hell of a guy. This is one of my most favorite guns. I wish it would shoot, but once you guys see this gun, she'll never shoot. And I don't want ATF knocking on my door coming to get it. This has been, like I said, demilled completely. It will look like it's ready to do business, but she's not. Folks, let me bring it out. This is the German MG34. She weighs about roughly 26 pounds. And she's a heavy gun. All solid metal. These were produced for the German military during World War II. I believe, I'm not sure the exact year that they came out, but I think we started making production a little bit before World War II. Once the German MG42 came out, that was able to be mass produced 10 times faster than this. It was also a lot lighter. It was stamped parts rather than this all solid metal. So it was able to be produced a lot quicker. This will shoot an 8mm ammo. Can either be stored in a belt fed or it could either be shot in a casing or a can, which I'll show you that here in a second. Like I said, as I was saying, she is demilled. The receiver's all been chopped up. She'll never shoot. You can't put anything through the barrel. None of that. Tried doing some history on it. This does still have some German Eagles on it with the swastika on it. And again, I don't like what the German military did back then. However, I do love their equipment that they had. Like I said, I can't put a round through there. I have stuff to make it look like it'll function. I'll show you that here in a second. But this was either in a can or you can use it as belt fed. Puts out 1,500 rounds a minute. Trigger does still function. It was interesting trigger setup. One, I believe it was either the bottom was a single shot or top was let it loose, let it fully just disperse all rounds. Now, as I was saying is, some of the plate covers here still has a German Eagle. The barrel inside still has the German Eagle. And I have not touched her. I've not cleaned it. And it's going to stay that way just because I love the history. What German person or German soldier had this gun? Maybe was he someone famous? Maybe he was, his location. Was he in the European theater? Was he in Africa? That's stuff that I love. Who had this gun? It's just a mystery. I'll never know. Now, as I was saying, you can have, now this piece right here is just like another service plate. The gentleman I got this from before mocked things up to make it look like it will function. However, they do have rounds inside of them. Now, these rounds are dummy rounds. Primer's been removed, holes been drilled on the side, and the round has been removed and then put back in and glued in. Now, as I was saying is, this is a 75 round drum. dual drum magazine. And what this would do is, like I said, now this is mocked up to make it look like it's ready to fire. A lot of the 34s were mounted on vehicles. A lot of half tracks. A lot of them were tank gunner guns, but a lot of them got replaced once the 42s came out. This setup I do have, which is hiding in my safe right now, a spider lens, so that I can make this into anti-aircraft. So I can have it on the ground with a bayonet, bipod mount, and shoot at planes and stuff like that. ATF, no, I'm not shooting at planes. This thing will never shoot, but that's what they would do back during World War II. Beautiful gun. I gotta honor the guys who 17, 18 years old running around with this heavy gun. The 30-30 Browning, I believe, was as well to almost 26 pounds, and I think the BAR was roughly 15, 20 pounds. The M1 Garand weighs 9 pounds. Heavy guns, but they were built, made to last. Everybody's collection, I would say, would need good old-fashioned M1 Garand. So, like I said, this gun, everything about it, there's still some stuff that's still original to this gun, but it is Frankenstein. This is, different serial numbers for some of the little parts. The handle, the stock, the receiver's been demilled so many different ways. The service plate here still has different serial numbers on it, along with a German Eagle. Like I said, amazing gun. I do have another clip set up like this that has ammo glued to it, so it looks like the belt fed's ready to go. Like I said, this gun will never shoot again. A lot of the Germans that do my reenactment stuff with me, they have what is called a gas system set up. So they have propane tubes leading throughout the barrel. They just have a box that leads to that, so it makes it sound like it's shooting. Very costly and helps them save on money on ammunition. However, I'm probably never going to do that. This is just going to be a display piece. I may take this to events down the road just as display, and people can pick it up, hold it. But like I said, this thing will never shoot again. This thing is almost as tall as me. I'm going to put this thing on the ground and you'll see. I'm only 5'4", 5'5". This is a big gun. And yes, I know I'm pointing it in a different direction. Still should treat all firearms as they're safe. However, I know right now this thing is never going to shoot. Most thing this is going to do right now is going to break my toe. Bipod was an interesting setup how they decided to design this. 2 buttons here on the side. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Hopefully you guys can. Has 2 little holes right here and spikes. So the spikes will be able to dig into mud, debris. It was always forward, so if they put it on, covered wall, all the recoil will allow them to keep their position there. Falls down, you can easily fold it up and spring load it, but when those 2 pieces clip together, the little metal, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, see if I can bring it up here. It's a little metal, spike right here that has little grooves cut in on the sides. So those holes would line up, lock it into place. Now, a lot of video games have done very well with this gun. Right here is actually a handle. You'd see a lot of Germans running around with this thing. A lot of them are not going to be sitting there running this thing trying to shoot. I have seen video where people have held on to the bayonet, or I'm sorry, not the bayonet, Jesus, the bipod, and still try to give covering fire. I would never do that, me personally, but they were some badass people back then. So, another interesting thing about this is the barrel. Now, each machine gunner would run 2 to 3 people. You'd have one on the ammo, one to assist loading, and when the guns get too hot, this is air cooled. However, putting out 1,500 rounds a minute, this gun will still get hot. So there's a lever on this opposite side. It's gonna be hard to see because it's on the opposite side for you guys. You have to push this lever in and turn the base of the gun. Now this thing is probably gonna come out at me pretty fast, and she is a beast. This is the barrel from it. Now, like I said, this still has German markings on it, but the bayonet, again. Everything on this, like I said, has been Frankensteined. The serial numbers, none of them match at all, but this is the barrel itself. So, within minutes to not seconds, they would have to grab your other barrel. This one's burnt, it's blown out. Slap that other barrel in there, make sure you get it just in the right spot without losing a finger. And once you get it back into place, slapping that gun back into place and doing work. Now, I'm out of shape. I don't know how these young guys could have done it that quick. But when your life's on the line, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, that's it for this episode. I'm gonna be doing another one here probably very shortly of some other interesting things. I'm gonna start getting into, I don't have much guns of Germans. It was this one and the K98. I did have a Luger that I sold a couple years ago. But I'm gonna start getting into some of the US stuff, plus some of the US equipment. I do have some miscellaneous German stuff that I've picked up throughout the years. Some interesting stuff. I'm going to start going into a little bit more of my private collection, just miscellaneous stuff like that. So be prepared for the next stuff to come. Have a good one, guys.